everybody, it's Lee at the Fast Lab, and today's Fast Fives are going to be 5 things that you can do to fix your posture. Now, posture is vital to us. It's kind of the barometer that lets us know how our body's doing. And you say, well, what does that mean? Here's what that means. The way we stand, the way we sit, the way we hold ourselves up against gravity is either making us healthier, stronger, more flexible, more fit, or it's breaking us down day by day, making us more unhealthy, less flexible, weaker, and sicker, okay? So let's take a quick look at some of the common posture problems that we see. First, we'll look at standing. Okay, everybody, let's talk about standing posture. And to do this, Coach Kinsey's gonna come in and help me out at the grid we have on the wall here at the Fast Lab, which helps us see postural deviations. So she's gonna get in good posture. Now, to be in good posture, it's pretty simple. We draw a line straight from the ear, through the shoulder, through the hip, down through the ankle, okay? So if that line is perfectly lined up, there's very little stress on the body, which means her muscles don't have to work very hard, which means she's pretty happy. Unfortunately, most of us don't stand like this. Most of us stand like this, and we're all guilty of it. We all do it, okay? Now, unfortunately, that line falls in front of her body. So just like a construction crane, we have to have a counterbalance to keep her from falling on her forehead. So what this does is it starts to shorten up and overuse muscles back here, muscles through the chest, muscles through the hip flexors, clear down into the calves and into the feet. So now she's working really hard to hold herself up, but it's not really helping her at all. So what we want to achieve is that ideal posture, pulling us back, getting that nice straight line where we have, even though it seems like we're working really hard, we have to work a lot less hard to have good posture than bad posture. And in just a minute, we're going to show you our 5 fixes for this to achieve this posture. Okay, now let's talk about sitting, which is really bad for us actually. And they're saying now that sitting is the new smoking. Every month some new research comes out to let us know how bad sitting is for us. So just to give you an example, and this is not an all-inclusive list, this is just some, but the more we sit, this has been linked to increase in heart disease, increased risk of dementia, increased risk of diabetes, of blood clots in the legs, increase in weight gain, increased anxiety and depression. They've also found it leads to varicose veins. It weakens our bones. Believe it or not, there's an increased risk of cancer, as well as an increased risk of gastrointestinal problems like IBS. For athletes, it's really important because they found that the more you sit, you kind of undo the positive effects you get from exercise and from training. So we kind of lose those things if we're sitting after we work out. And for everybody, they've actually figured out that sitting actually shortens our lifespan. So it's vital to change one thing, which is sit less, get up more, okay? Now, from our standpoint here at the Fast Lab, we look a lot at the muscle issues. So a lot of things happen when we sit, okay? Whether we have great posture when we're sitting or crappy posture when you're sitting, some of these things are just going to happen. So to help me out here, Coach Kayla's gonna come in, and she's actually gonna sit in really good posture, okay? Which we also saw with standing, if you're in good posture, you're actually minimizing a lot of the stresses on the body, but they're still there. So just like we saw with standing, good posture means if we draw a line from the ear, it's gonna go straight through the shoulder and straight through the hip. When she's in this position, there's a lot less stress on the body. She's not having to work too hard. But unfortunately, especially nowadays with all of us having to work from home, we're sitting a lot more and we're ending up in this posture right here. So just like with standing now, we've got a ton of stress going on with the body. We're actually overworking the muscles back here, overworking the muscles to the front, overworking the hip flexors, the hamstrings, the calves, the Achilles. And when we overwork these muscles, we call it overactivation, these muscles actually start to shorten. So there's a difference between shortened muscles and muscles that are tight. Shortened muscles are actually working, which means Newton's third law says equal opposite reaction, right? If we have muscles working, we also have muscles that are being told to shut off. We call that muscle inhibition. And in this case, it's the front muscles of the neck, the shoulder blade muscles, which are really vital to helping correct the posture, her core, which we all need, and for athletes, she's also shutting off her glutes, and we all know how important the glutes are. We're going to do lots of videos just isolating the glutes. So we have to sit when we eat, when we drive, when we work, so we should at least try to maintain this really good posture. but to combat the effects of sitting, we just have to get up more often, okay? And we're gonna show you our Fast 5 fixes for posture problems. Here we go with our Fast 5 posture fixes. So the first one is just simply, we call it the long extension stretch, okay? Remember, when you're sitting, you're kind of wadding yourself up. We wanna do everything to go kind of anti that position. So Kinsey's gonna get in this position. She's actually gonna put her arms straight up and she's gonna reach to the ceiling just as far as she can, trying to open everything back up again, okay? And then she's gonna give herself a little extension. Remember, sitting is all flexion. We're gonna go into a little extension. Don't go extreme. We don't want anybody to injure the facet area of the back or the SI joints. We just wanna open that up, start to get a stretch in the front and start to go away from that extension. I'm gonna have her turn to the back is what she just did. We'll actually start to stretch out the sides that also start to tighten up. She's doing that tall extension and then just kind of giving that subtle little stretch to each side to open up some extra muscles. That's the first of our Fast 5s. The second of our Fast 5 posture fixes is a reaching lunge. So on this one, if you have knee issues, we're gonna show you a little modification here in a minute, but without knee issues, I still like a cushion for the knee. I don't like driving that kneecap into the groove there. So Kayla's gonna drop down on one knee, get in a deep, deep lunge position. And what she's gonna do is reach way back. So what she's stretching is actually this left side of the body with the leg that's back. She's opening up that whole front line that, remember, sitting wants to close everything down. Now she's doing a good stretch to open that all up. Okay, we're gonna hold that stretch for a little bit, 15 seconds or so, and then she's gonna ease out of it. Okay, as she comes back into it, go ahead. Okay, now she's gonna do one that if you don't like kneeling on that knee, we can go into this version right here, keep most of the weight on your front foot, and she's gonna do the same thing. Arms up and over, giving herself a little bit of that extension to open up those muscles that have been just tightened up for so long. And there you go, number 2 on our Fast 5. Number 3 in our Fast 5 is the pec stretch. And the pecs are the big muscles here in the chest that tend to want to pull everything forward when we sit too much. So an easy way to combat that at home, all you need is a wall, is to isolate that muscle with a stretch. So what Kinsey's gonna do, she's gonna put her hand up against the wall, fingers pointing back, okay? Now, it's really important to keep your neck out of this stretch. So get in a position where you can relax into the stretch, be nice to your neck. So immediately she's probably gonna start to feel stretched through the forearm and into the bicep, but we wanna get up here into the front of the shoulder and the chest. So she's gonna turn her body away and then turn her head away. She's gonna hold that stretch for a good 15 seconds. And remember, on all these stretches, take them to the point of tension, not to the point of tenderness, okay? Don't be surprised if you maybe get a little numbness tingling into the hand. That's because we're stretching the wire bundle that kind of supplies all the nerves down here. That'll go away when we're done. And there you go. That's number 3 in our Fast 5. Okay. Number 4 in our Fast 5 is the alternate arm and leg extensions. And what that's going to do is start to activate the muscles that are opposite of everything tightening us up when we're sitting. So what Kayla's going to do is simply take her right leg, left arm, and she's going to work those into an extension motion. She's going to try to get them behind her, and again, don't force it. All we're trying to do is activate the muscles that do that motion to deactivate the muscles that pull us forward. Okay, she's going to crank out about 5 or 10 on one side. She's going to switch to get 5 or 10 on the other side. Okay, and again, be nice to your back, so kind of engage the core a little bit so you're not doing a lot of back extension. But there is number 4 in our Fast 5s. Okay, number 5 in our Fast 5, this is one that's pure strengthening, okay? And this is strengthening those muscles that are gonna help hold us up. But you do wanna be a little bit careful with these that you're not just cranking them too far. So we're gonna start by, we'll add little parts in here. We'll go on a sequence. We're gonna start with the legs. So Kinsey's gonna show us one leg at a time, just working into extension. This is gonna isolate a lot of glute. Yeah, it's gonna work a little hamstring, but we're mainly gonna focus on the glute. Now, if she has no problem doing that, then we're gonna work both together, okay? That gets a little more glute isolation in there, good glute squeeze. Now we're gonna focus on the arms, okay? We're gonna work on those shoulder blades, trying to get those muscles stronger to help keep those shoulders back when we're sitting. She'll show us one at a time, and she's basically squeezing those muscles between the shoulder blades together to try to get those arms back. If she has no problem with that, she's gonna do both together. Now, because Kinsey's strong, she's an athlete, what we're gonna do is work the whole thing together to save time, make it more efficient. She's gonna do both arms and legs together, hold for a count, come back down, and she's gonna crank out about 10 of those. Now, notice how she's not cranking her neck back into extension. She's being nice to the neck. So what we're doing is activating all those muscles on this posterior chain of the body, working away from the front, which was closing us down. Again, a pure strength move. You can do 2 or 3 sets of 10 of this. And there you go, our fast fives for posture fixes.